Hello, my name is Janice and I'm from Interact Support. Today we've got Craig Anderson from the north side of Melbourne and he's a workplace mediator. Craig's here today to tell us all about workplace mediation. How you going, Craig?
Great, Janice. Good to be here with you today.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for coming. So we've been hearing a lot about workplace mediations lately, so it's really fantastic to have you here today to tell us all about it. So let's start with, what is workplace mediation?
Well, COVID's over now and people are coming back into the workplace. So at times disputes can arise. It could be between two employees, or it could be between an employer and an employee, or management, or anybody in the workplace. And there's so many different reasons why disputes can arise. But if it's affecting people and they're not productive, then for HR and management, it's a really good option to think about bringing in a mediator and helping to resolve that dispute.
Yeah, great. It's a great option, isn't it? One question that I've heard arise a couple of times is employers asking, can I make employees mediate?
Well, that's a great question. And mediation certainly is a voluntary process. And when you offer it as an alternative to your employees, you're obviously doing it in the process of your normal workplace practices. If a person decides that they don't want to mediate, perhaps there are other things that do take place which may not be so palatable for that employee. So there's a little bit of incentive there to go through with mediation. But in the case of mediation, it's certainly not something that you can force a person to do. It needs to be a voluntary process for both parties that are involved in mediation.
Yeah, that's a really important part. So in saying that, what are some ideas that an employer can do for their employee to help who are feeling a little bit reluctant, a little bit unsure?
Yep, that's a great question, because sometimes one of the parties, or maybe even both parties, are really feeling stressed out about going to mediation. They've already had a conflict, and for them, even going into the same room as somebody and being involved in mediation can be very difficult for them. But the mediator is a skilled person who is able to coach the parties in the process of what might happen. And so there's an intake call that takes place, which can be in person, online, or by telephone. And the mediator coaches each party through the situation to say, well, this is what it might look like. This is what might happen. Maybe you'll feel like this. This is the way you can handle it. And also, we want to make sure that you're feeling safe in the mediation, so that at any moment in the mediation, if you're not feeling safe, you can call for a break, or you can actually stop the mediation. And our role as a mediator is to make sure that you feel safe. So the employer, in allowing the parties to understand how mediation works in that way, might be able to give them a bit of confidence in going to mediation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, great. So what's the process of workplace mediation? Where would an employer start if they were looking for mediation?
Well, they can contact Interact.support, and there's many different ways that through the website you can request help with mediation. And the way the process works is that Interact.support will contact you and appoint two mediators that mediate together. And the mediators will have an intake call with each party and also with management or HR to get a background of the story and to give people an understanding of how mediation works. Later in the joint session, the two parties come together with the two mediators and we go through a process which can take between 2 and 3 hours. Each party has an opportunity to discuss and say what they think the issues are. And then we go to time when we discuss each of the issues on the agenda. And each party is able to explain from their point of view why it's been an impact for them. Then we get to option generating, where we talk about what are some of the ways forward from here. And mediation is future focused. So we're looking at what needs to happen following mediation for a more peaceful resolution of this dispute. And then we hopefully come to an agreement. It's recorded, written down, and then we can report back to the parties and to the HR or management about that agreement.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you so much. That's given, some great understanding and clarity around what workplace mediation is. So if you are looking for any workplace mediation, that they can call interact.support and someone will get back to you. Thanks so much, Craig.
Thanks, Janice. Great being with you today.